Hi everyone, so today I'm going to be trying out products that are new to me, so they are not necessarily new to the market. Now I have actually seen them around for quite some time and I don't know why it's only now that I'm decided to play around with these products. And also one other thing, these were actually gifted to me by my mom, so thank you mom. You know that I'm a fan of this brand, and the products that I'm going to be talking about today are these two tinted moisturizer blushes from Laura Mercier and these three mini rose glow caviar sticks. And over the holiday season, Laura Mercier actually released their holiday packages. So the blushes came in packs of two like this. So the only thing that I didn't like about having a packaging like this is that you only get two colors and you can't even choose which color that you want. So I am guessing that maybe these two colors are their best selling colors. But also one other thing, these I just found out that these are actually the regular sized tinted moisturizer blushes. So I think it's a nice value for money to get two products for like almost the price of one, like a little bit over the price of one. And the same thing goes with the caviar sticks. They came out in a box like this, so it's a set of three, and they call this the Gift of Rose Caviar Stick Trio. So as you guys know, I am a fan of the mini sizes of the caviar sticks from Laura Mercier, because sometimes I find that if I purchase the regular sized ones, I don't tend to finish the entire stick, and sometimes I feel like it's a waste of money because if I don't use it and over time it gets exposed to the air, yada yada, it dries out. So I'm glad that they decided to release some of the rose glowed caviar sticks in mini sizes for the holiday season, because it's a great way for me to try these colors out. Alright, so let's get to know these babies one by one. Alright, so let's start with the two tinted moisturizer blushes, and I do have to say I love the packaging of this. I love that it comes in a tube form, and if we open this we can see that there's a nozzle here, which is actually great. To me this is a plus plus because I like that it minimizes the possibility of oxidation, and of course it's also easy to store and easy to handle, and it minimizes spillage, and I just love it. It reminds me of how I used to go to school during painting classes, so it's very reminiscent of that, and it's also very evocative of Laura Mercier the person, because if you followed her career throughout the decades, she actually started out as a painter, or going through painting classes in Paris. So I think this is a nod to her. All right, so we have two colors here. So the first color that I have is called Coastline, and I'm going to swatch it here on my arm. Okay, so I think a little of this product will go a long way, so let's just be very controlling on how we squeeze out the product from the tube. All right, so let's try to blend this out. Okay, so I could say that the texture is very lightweight, and it's actually very easy to blend out. So I just don't know though how well this will layer, but let's play it by ear and let's check it out later. Now this is a very nice brownie tone to it. It's also a little bit warm, so if you are someone who likes to have a hint of color but not a pop of color on the cheeks, I think this is a nice color to use for you. And it also dries down quite nicely, so there's a little amount of playtime that we have when we are using this product, so at least that's great. It's going to be easy to play around and to blend out. Alright, and the next color that I'm going to try is a color Southbound, and I'm going to apply a small amount of product here on my arm, and let's just mix it around with my finger. Okay, so I can actually see that it has a very nice peachy pink kind of a color. So this is a color that we see that most brands have a version of, because it's very easy to sell this color. And if you are someone who has fair to light skin tones, this is going to be a very good color for you to use, because it's going to give a nice brightness into the face. What I'm going to be doing now at this point is I'm going to try this on my face. So I'm going to try this without foundation first, so that we can see how well it applies and blends out on the skin. Okay, alright, so I'm going to start with the color Southbound, and I already have a little bit of it here at the back of my hand, and I'm just going to load this here on the Yachiyo brush. I'm sure you can use your fingers for this, but since I like to use brushes for everything, let's see on how well this blush will actually apply on skin. And I also find it very interesting because I'm seeing that here on my arm, it actually dries down, and as I'm rubbing the product here with my fingers, it's actually not smudging. So that's actually very, very interesting. And I'm actually quite surprised on how lightweight the formula is of this product, and on how easy it is to actually blend. And basing on how I see it drying down here on my arm, I think this is quite buildable. Just make sure that you use this with very thin layers, because I think if you use way too much product at the beginning of your application, it's going to be a little bit difficult to control, because after all, this is a liquid type of a blush formula. Okay, so as you guys can see, it's a very nice light infusion of color into the cheeks. It's also very nice and dewy, which I like. Does it have a shimmer? Does it have shimmer? I don't see that it has shimmers. Maybe it has some pearls in the formulation. That's why it looks very nice and glowy and dewy on the face. But this is a very nice flush of color. I like it. So if you're someone who prefers this type of blush application on your cheeks, this is going to be very good for you to use. Okay, so I'm going to be trying the color Coastline now, and I have a little bit of it here at the back of my hand. And I'm just going to spread this using this Yachiyo brush. And I'm going to use this in a bronzer kind of way. Ooh, it's actually adding a very nice hint of warmth into the cheeks. Very nice, but I think I'm not going to overdo it because it's just a little too red. So this can't really add some contouring, but this would be a nice color to use if you want to add a flush of color into the cheeks. A nice it looks like you got kissed by the sun. And I think using these two colors together, they're enhancing each other quite nicely. So I'm quite happy about that. Ooh, it's very nice. So this is a very nice hint of color. Then I'm just gonna get the brush that I used earlier for the color Southbound, and I'm just going to apply whatever is left on the brush head and blend it out into this color Coastline. Alright, so I actually do like how the color looks on my face right now. It looks very natural. It looks like I'm blushing from within. But if there's one thing that I have observed with this product, is that there is some patchiness that happened here on my cheeks. And I think you guys can see it, that my skin is peeking through the color. And I think this happened during the time wherein the blush was actually setting, and I was either mixing this with my finger, and it actually lifted out some of the products, some of the blush product that was actually setting on my cheeks, and it actually sat on my fingers. So I think there's a certain learning curve that I have to do with this blush, and I think this is one of the reasons why there are some people who do not like this blush, basing on their reactions of this online. But anywho, let's just continue playing around with this, and I actually want to see how well this will layer under foundation. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to apply a thin layer of my one of my most favorite foundations. This is from Giorgio Armani, and I'm just going to see how well they would go together. I'm trying to see how well the blushes would layer. Like for example, if I find that there was some patchiness going on, and if I put a little bit of foundation on top of that, and then I add another layer of blush, will the blushes work? Will the blush color be enhanced? Things like that. So let's just see how these blushes are going to work with me today. So the blushes are actually very lightweight. It actually blended well into the foundation. If there's anything positive about what I'm doing right now, is that I do not see the blush spilling into the foundation. So that's good. Okay, so I'm going to continue now building the foundation and just spreading it out evenly on my skin. Okay, so that's my foundation down, and I do have to say that the foundation actually covered any pigment that blush actually left on my skin. So We do not get a lot of pigmentation with these products, but maybe it's also the color. So let me just see if these blushes will layer well with this foundation, and let's see if this will really pop on my cheeks, and that will be one of the factors that I'm going to look into to see if I'm going to continue to purchase more colors from this particular blush range from Laura Mercier. So, okay, so I am using the color Southbound. Yes, Southbound. And I'm just going to apply it lightly on my cheeks right now. And I'm just going to blend it. Okay, and now I'm just going to pat the color. And with the brush that I use for the foundation, I'm just going to try to blend out the edges. And I'm just going to continue to build the intensity and the color. And I'm going to try it here on the other side now. And I'm just going to continue to blend and build. Blend and build. And I'm using a patting motion here. Like, just pouncing the color. Because I think if I drag the brush, I might drag the pigment and that might cause some patchiness. Okay, so one other observation that I have noticed with the blush is that you can actually intensify them a bit. You can actually build up the color, but I think you do not use like a rubbing circular motion for this. I think you have to use like a tapping motion, because it just minimizes the possibility of actually creating patchiness on the cheeks. But other than that, this is a very nice color, and it works well actually with the foundation that I used today. But there's still a certain amount of patchiness that I see here, but it's not as bad as earlier. So again, as I've said, I think there's a certain learning curve that needs to be studied when using these blushes from Laura Mercier. Okay, so let me add some concealer in my under eye area just so that we can see how bright everything looks when everything is even. Okay, so concealer is down and everything looks bright in my under eye area, and I do have to say though that everything is working well together. I love the color though, looks very natural and giving my skin a nice brightness that I like. Okay, so since we're playing around with makeup today, I'm gonna pick up again some of the color Coastline here, which is the deeper shade. It's almost like a terracotta color, and let me just see if this will layer nicely together. Okay, so the color actually added some intensity into the blush, created a very nice color. So at least by doing this, I can say that you can actually blend these colors together. And the patchiness is still a little bit there, but it's not as bad as it was earlier. So maybe the foundation created a nice surface for the pigments to grip on. And it also made the colors really come out quite nicely. So not bad at all. So what do you guys think? Do you like it? Well, I do like it. I love the flush of the color, and I love how it looks like here on screen and even here on the mirror. Not bad. But I just need to play around with these blushes some more to see how I could really work with them. And I'm not 100% loving it because I would actually prefer to play around with the NARS liquid blushes or the cloud paints from Glossier. I think those two products are very easy to work with, or even the Ilia was it the power paint? I'm not so sure about the name, but I'm sure you know what I mean. So I just need to play around with these products some more so that I could understand it some more and to see if they will work with me. So this is how the Tinted Moisturizer blushes from Laura Mercier look on me. Alright, so now let's talk about these RoseGlow Caviar sticks. And I do have to say I love the packaging. They look so pretty. And let's swatch this on my arm. So the first color that we have here is called Moonlight Rose. And I'm just gonna add a nice swatch here. Okay, so I do have to say that the color initially has a nice hint of rose, but it's more taupey, and it has some gold shimmer in it, which is actually very pretty. But I love how reflective the light is. It's very, very light, so I think you can use this, like, as a highlighter on your eyes, or maybe for the inner corners, things like that. But actually a very nice color. So now let's try the other color, and this is called Kiss from a Rose. And let me swatch that there. Ooh, okay, so that's actually very pretty in my book. It has a hint of, like, violet in it, still very light, and I think it has some maybe silver and very light lilac shimmer here. So let me just spread it so that we can see how easy it is to actually spread the color here on my arm. It's actually a very nice color. I like that. If you have green eyes, it's going to be very fantastic on you. Even like blue. If you have blue eyes, that will be beautiful as well. Okay, and the last color that we have here is called Strike a Rose. Ooh, and this one is actually very warm. Look at that. Very nice, stunning color. It has a very nice, red base. And I can see, like, it's like a dual chrome kind of a thing, wherein there's a hint of, like, purple or violet in it. On top of this, like, coppery red shade. And we have this very nice, like, hints of sparkles in there as well. Silvers, and I think, again, there's a purple colors, so that's actually very, very nice. So this is how the Gift of a Rose Caviar Stick Trio looks like swatched on my arm. And they're very, very creamy too. So as you guys have seen, like, when I was just, like, spreading the product with my finger and my arm, they spread very, very easily. So that makes them very easy to play with. So I'm actually quite excited to try these colors out on my eyes right now. Alright, so I'm just going to move closer to the camera now so that you can just see how these colors are going to look like on my eyes. But before we continue, I do have to say though that I am liking the color story that we see here. We have one very like, warm eyeshadow color, we have one cool tone, and then we have one, like, warm golden shade. So at least having these three, you can create a very nice, like, graduation of color, and also you can be very playful with the mood and the tone you are, like, that you want to create on your eye for that day. So what I want to do first, let me get the color Kiss from a Rose, and this is the one, this cool tone. It has a violet-y undertone to it, and I'm just gonna apply it all over my eyelid. So as you guys can see, it's actually very easy to apply, and you don't really need to blend it out, because, like, the pearls in this and the shimmers make it very easy for you. And you can just, like, use your fingers for this to blend out the edges, but I actually prefer to use a brush again, and I'm just going to buff that out. But I'm being very careful, because that's one thing that I have noticed. If you have a lot of, like, glitters in your eyelids, if you use, like, a very tough blending brush, you'll flick away all the glitters, and you'll have, like, a lot of shimmer here on your upper cheeks. That's a very nice wash of color. What do you guys think? Very nice and very sweet, very light, and very easy. Okay, let me do that here on my other eye. Okay, that's a very nice wash of color. Again, you have that one and done eyeshadow look. So if you are someone who is, like, prefers to apply eye makeup this way, and then you don't have time in the morning or in the evening, I mean, these caviar sticks from Laura Mercier, whether it's from the RoseGlow collection or from the regular line, they're actually very easy to use. And they're also very easy to maneuver. You don't even, like, really need a brush, truthfully. And you can also add some intensity. So I'm just adding intensity by layering one more swatch of color on the eyelid. And that's actually very nice. And I think there's a certain dual chrome effect that these caviar sticks have, wherein it's adding a hint of depth here in the outer corners, and even here on my, like, socket line. So that's actually very interesting, very nice. So again, one and done eyeshadow look, perfect, very sweet, and you have a lot of pearls and glitters here, just to pick up from the light and to reflect it back, and to add some, like, glow into the eyes. That's actually very pretty. I like that. Okay, so let's continue. Maybe I'm gonna add a little bit of that here into my lower lash line and also here. And I'm just gonna get a thicker brush and I'm just gonna use this to blend out everything. And also to help to create, like, the shape for my eye. That's actually a very pretty color. I like that. So I'm gonna get the color Strike a Rose now, and maybe this is what I'm going to use to intensify the outer V portion of my eyelid. Okay, let me just get the blending brush now, and let me just blur out the edges. And let's just intensify that a teeny tiny bit. Okay, I'm just gonna pick up a little bit of the product here on the brush, and I'm just gonna use this here along my socket line, just to add some depth there, and also just to blend out everything to create a nice lift. It's very pretty. Okay, I'm just gonna add more intensity there so that we have a nice, like, pop of color. And with the brush that I used earlier, I'm just going to spread that, create a lift by, dragging it upwards and blending it into my socket line. So again, blending is always the key. Alright, so one thing I do have to say that these caviar sticks have a certain grip, and I don't see any fallout from the shimmer on my upper cheek, so which is actually great. And I love the color here. It's adding a hint of warmth into my eyelid, and it's also able to add some definition, but it's still very soft, and it's giving my eyes a very nice glow, which I guess is the key factor with these caviar sticks from Laura Mercier. Okay, so now let me just add the color here on my other eye, and then I'm gonna come right back. Okay, so I think the other eye is complete, and let's get the lightest shade in the trio. And I think this color called Moonlight Rose is not part of the regular line of the RoseGlow Caviar Stick collection, because I actually checked it out before continuing and it's actually not there. So maybe that's what's making this holiday collection, I think, special. Okay, so let me just blend out the color now here from the inner corner. Just do that, it's gonna help open up the eyes. Alright, so this is how the Gift of a Rose Caviar Stick Trio looks like on my eyes. So as you guys can see, it's giving me this very nice soft wash of color into the eyelids, and I think this is a very nice, color combination to use for the spring, especially if you're someone who likes to have lighter shades of, eyeshadow looks. This is very good to use, and again, this is a caviar stick from Laura Mercier, so it's actually very easy to apply, very easy to blend out, and very easy to build. Now, speaking of build, I actually want to build this up a little bit. So I have here one of my most favorite colors from Laura's Caviar Stick collection, and this is in the color Plum. And I'm just going to get a little bit of the color here on this smudge brush. And this is what I'm going to use as an eyeliner of sorts. And I'm just going to apply a substantial amount of this on my upper lashes, just to help create, intensity. So because, all of the colors here on the trio, especially after I swatched them, I was expecting that there was going to be one deep shade, but the deepest shade here is called Strike a Rose, but it's actually not that deep enough to be able to create, definition like this on the eye, the same way that this plum shade is actually, applying right now. And what I want to do is I want to get Strike a Rose color, and I'm just going to apply a hint of that here on top of that color, and that's actually quite nice, very pretty. And whatever is left here on the brush, I'm going to apply that here on the outer portion of my lower lash line, just to help open up everything. And with the brush that I used earlier, I'm just going to continue to smudge that out. Fantastic. Okay, and now I'm going to do this on the other eye now. Okay, so I'm actually liking that, but oh, hang on. I missed a gap here. Let me just add a hint of color there. And to finish off my eye look for today, I have a new mascara that I wanted to try, and this is the Maybelline New York, the Falsies Lash Lift. So I just saw this in the drugstore, and I said to myself, oh, I need to try that. So I'm going to apply some of that here. I'm actually building up the intensity of the lashes now. Ooh, it's actually adding some volume and intensity. And it's also quite lengthening. It's actually very nice. It actually worked well with my eye look today. Okay, so I'm going to do that here on my other eyelash. Ooh. Wow. This is nice. I like it. I can feel it setting on my lashes now, and I can feel it like, opening up my eyes a bit. So this is actually great. Not bad, not bad. I'm actually glad that I got this. Very pretty. All right, so I think we're nearing the end of my vlog for today, but before I go, I have actually read that this product is actually good to use also for the eyes and also for the lips. So that's what we're going to be doing right now to close out the video. So I have a little bit of the color Coastline here at the back of my hand, and with my finger, I pick up a little bit of the product and I'm going to apply it all over my lip. And I'm just spreading it out, and I'm just like, being very casual about it. I'm not being very precise, and I'm just feathering out the color here at the very edges of my lip line. Ooh. Now, I do have to say that the color actually kind of works with my lips right now. So it's like my lips, but natural. It's a little bit, it looks nude on my lips. But again, it has this brightening quality that I like. So maybe I would like to use this product for the lips more than for the cheeks, because it looks quite pretty. What do you guys think? And I can feel it setting now, which is not so bad. It doesn't feel uncomfortable, I do have to say. And it also has a cooling effect on my lips, which I actually kind of like. Alright, and before I let you guys go, let me just add a hint of powder here on my forehead, my under eye area, some here on my cheeks, just to minimize the shine and to set everything. So that's my vlog for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed me showing you how I got to know the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer Blush and the gift of a Rose Caviar Stick Trio. And I hope that you guys enjoyed me showing you how easy it is to actually layer these caviar sticks from Laura Mercier, especially when I use the color Plum, just to add more definition here. And if you are someone who doesn't want to be very specific with your eyeshadow look, and you just want to be very playful, very casual, the caviar sticks from Laura Mercier are very easy to use. And also, one other thing before I let you guys go, I do have to say that I did enjoy also the new false, no, not new, but new to me mascara from Maybelline, the Falsies Lash Lift. It did create a very nice, lengthening effect and very nice volume also on my eyes, and it kind of worked very well with my eye look today. And also, one other thing, I do love this as a lip color, so I don't feel it tightening. I don't feel it drying. It actually feels kind of moisturizing, and I love the very nice tint that it left here on my lips. Alright, so that's it for me today. I'm going to let you guys go now. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that you're having a good day wherever you are. Bye!